I give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, which in Hebrew are the wonderful names of the Creator, our Heavenly Father, I Am, which this world is named God, and His beloved anointed Son, which this world is named Jesus. I give honor, respect, and thanks to all the true, faithful, and sincere apostles, elders, prophets, and torchbearers of the nation of Israel, who have willingly endured and risked much to bring forth the truth. Thank you, brothers. In this chapter, we are continuing the conversation of holy supplies, things made available unto the nation of Israel by our Father which art in heaven. Holy supplies. The first scripture we're going to in this chapter is the book of St. John, chapter 9, verse 1. And as Yahushua passed by, he saw a man which was blind from his birth. 2. And his disciples asked him, saying, Master, who did sin, this man or his parents, that he was born blind? 3. Yahushua answered, Neither hath this man sinned, nor his parents, but that the works of the Most High Power should be made manifest in him. So we, as Israelites, we are, as servants of the one true living Most High Power, we are that man today, born into this last wicked kingdom, born into our last captivity, blind. 4. I must work the works of him that sent me while it is day. The night cometh when no man can work. So while Yahushua was present, he was there to do the work the Father sent him to do. Great miracles, great signs. And the disciples and the apostles would follow after him until the night came, which was the rulership of this last wicked kingdom, where the devil, which means deceivers, filled with the spirit of Satan, would have their dominion. And we would be spiritually dead and asleep, blind, deaf, and dumb. I must work the works of him that sent me while it is day. The night cometh when no man can work. The book of Psalms, chapter 141, verse 5. Now that we are in that time where darkness, the night, is coming to an end, this work, well, it's blossoming. Let the righteous smite me. So the men that our Father, Yahweh, the Most High Power, the creator of heaven and earth, the creator of all things, the creator and destroyer, the men that he has raised up and filled with his Spirit, Holy Spirit, who have the Spirit of Yahushua, who have the Spirit of our Mother Wisdom, all in our portions. Let the righteous smite me. We hit you with this truth, Israelites. We hit you with this truth. It shall be a kindness, and let him reprove me. It shall be an excellent oil. So we have to light our way through this darkness. You can have the truth, which is an excellent oil. it will burn clean and well and keep your lamp lit. Or you could use trash, dirt, to try and light your lamp. It will destroy your lamp, and you will not see a thing. Let the righteous smite me, hit you with this truth. It shall be a kindness. It's better than the flames of fire and the pangs of hunger and the teeth of wild beasts and the pursuit of the mad men and women upon this earth, who are slowly starting to descend into madness as they look around and see what is actually occurring. Let the righteous smite me, it shall be a kindness, and let him reprove me, it shall be an excellent oil. The book of Revelation, chapter 3, verse 17. This is reproof. Because thou sayest, I am rich and increased with goods, and have need of nothing, and knowest not that thou art wretched and miserable and poor and blind and naked. It's kindness when you hear that from Yahushua, because it's the truth. And it gets you to examine yourself. 18. I counsel thee to buy of me gold tried in the fire, that thou mayest be rich, and white raiment, that thou mayest be clothed, and that the shame of thy nakedness do not appear, and anoint thine eyes with eye salve, that thou mayest see. Holy supplies. You can repent, get this grace and this forgiveness to cover your nakedness. The Father will forget, and you will get this truth, this light, the commandments, the statutes, and the laws. You will get prophecies and promises that will open your eyes and heal you. Because we were all born here in this last wicked kingdom blind as Israelites. Blind. The book of St. Luke, chapter 9, verse 1. Then he called his 12 disciples together and gave them power and authority over all devils and to cure diseases. How is that being done today? Through this word. This oil is being poured out upon your eyes. Excellent oil is available for your lamps, directly from Yahushua, who brings it from the Father. 2, and he sent them to preach the kingdom of the Most High power and to heal the sick by hearing. By hearing. The book of the prophet Isaiah, chapter 30, verse 1. Woe means destruction, to the rebellious children, saith Yahweh, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. So if you're blind, you believe that man can help you, that they can deliver you. You believe that they can bring salvation and be a stay against the actual words of the one true living Most High power. You are truly blind in that way. 2, that walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked at my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. So you want to trust in the rulers of this last wicked kingdom. When you get that oil, you understand what's happening at the end of this last wicked kingdom. When your eyes have been healed at the deepest levels, you know for certain what is going to occur to the rulers of this last wicked kingdom, without a shadow of a doubt. And if you align yourself with them, you don't have that oil. 3, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame. There is only strength in the rulers of this last wicked kingdom because our Father has given it to them for a time. That's it. When he takes it away, it's gone. And the trust in the shadow of Egypt, your confusion. So there's the actual strength and power that was there, and then there's the shadow of a thing. The shadow only exists because a thing existed. When that thing doesn't exist anymore, the shadow goes away too. So when their might is gone, their shadow is gone. So you trusting in that which has been spoken to cease, you will cease with them. You have to understand where to put your faith, hope, trust, and belief. You cannot be blind about this. As the Spirit brought out. And for our brothers and sisters of the nation of Israel who can hear this word, if your hope is in this last wicked kingdom, you're going to experience severe disappointment. Because the further you go with this one, the further into madness you go. But you'll even forget the one true living most high power exists, because she doesn't. The great whore doesn't remember that the one true living most high power exists. The other part is she, Mystery Babylon the Great, the so-called United States of America, she doesn't care about you. Not at all. And as we continue to move forward, her guidelines are going to get narrower and narrower. And if you do not comply with her demands and her commands, she will leave you. She will leave you. And many of you really believe that will never happen to you. And many of you believe that you can survive it unless you initiate the divorce. It will hit you in your face like a brick.
We can't help you. We can't help you.
We can't help you.
It's the message. It's loud and clear. We just got this message here in Israel from the embassy. It reads, I'm quoting here, the U.S. Embassy is not in a position at this time to evacuate or directly assist Americans in departing Israel. Those are the words from the Ambassador Mike Huckabee, and frankly, they're consistent with what Americans are hearing across this region. You know, we all were alerted in 14 countries last night to leave immediately. People were told on their own using commercial options, which is simply an incredible irony given that in almost all of the countries listed, there are no commercial options to leave right now. And in fact, in 6 of them, there isn't even a confirmed sitting U.S. ambassador, including in Saudi Arabia, where the massively fortified embassy has been hit.
Get as much of that oil as you can into your lamp, Israel. As the Spirit has brought out time and time and time again, how can you put your faith, hope, trust, and belief in the devil, the rulers of this last wicked kingdom, when they're sacrificing their own? What do you think they care about you, Israelite? They're sacrificing their own. get that excellent oil. The book of the prophet Isaiah, chapter 61, verse 1. This is Yahushai. The Spirit of Yahweh, the Most High Power, is upon me, because Yahweh hath anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek. He hath sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and the opening of the prison to them that are bound. So he's come to let us know, yes, you're at the bottom today, and your time to be back at the top is coming. Your kingdom will come back. I understand that it's what you're going through is tough. You deserved it. You deserved it. You earned it. And now you're working it off through your captivity. But here's hope. The kingdom's coming, and you're going to rule in righteousness. 2, to proclaim the acceptable year of Yahweh and the day of vengeance of our Most High Power, to comfort all that mourn. So again, if you claim to believe in the Son of the One True Living Most High Power, and yet you can't stomach and digest the righteous resolution, dissolution, and destruction of this last wicked kingdom, then you go against what he says. To proclaim the acceptable year of Yahweh and the day of vengeance of our Most High Power. Clearly written. To comfort all that mourn. Who's mourning? The Israelites. Today, the 1/3. The men, the women, the children, the true believers, the remnant. We understand where we are. We want to get out of here. And yet we're going to endure until the end. And Most High willing, we get taken up. We see the salvation. 3, to appoint unto them that mourn in Zion. Where? In Zion. Remember, the nation of Israel, the Israelites, the so-called Negroes, the so-called Latins, Hispanics, the so-called Native Americans. We are a nation before we are a place. And we are the city. We are Jerusalem. We are Zion. In this captivity, the nation is the daughter of Zion, the daughter of Jerusalem. Our mother turned her back on our Father, the one true living Most High Power, and we are the daughter, and we get to choose today. We get to choose today. To appoint unto them that mourn in Zion, to give unto them beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning. So that good oil, put it in your lamp. There's going to be joy. This is coming to an end. It has to come to an end. At an appointed time, it's coming to an end. And we, for whatever reason, who can see today, because that oil is in our eyes, we are at an extraordinary time in the timeline. We're watching the beginning. Judgment has begun upon this earth. All praise to the one true living Most High Power and His Son. The oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness, that they might be called trees of righteousness, the planting of Yahweh, that he might be glorified. Remember, our Father's been working on a vineyard. He's been refining a specific seed and vine for a long time. And trees have deep roots. And so the souls who've been here time and time again and keep choosing the Father, those roots are deep. That they might be called trees of righteousness, the planting of Yahweh, that he might be glorified. So with that oil in our eyes, in our lamp, we understand that we've also been anointed on the top of our heads by the one true living Most High Power through His Son, who is our high priest. And through His words, because He speaks on behalf of the Father, and through His Spirit, which is present upon the earth today, along with the Spirit of the Comforter and the Spirit of our Mother, Wisdom, Life. 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 The book of St. Matthew, chapter 9, verse 18, while he spake these things unto them, behold, there came a certain ruler and worshipped him, saying, My daughter is even now dead, but come and lay thy hand upon her, and she shall live. 19, and Yahushua arose and followed him, and so did his disciples. 23, and when Yahushua came into the ruler's house, and saw the minstrels and the people making a noise, 24, he said unto them, Give place, for the maid is not dead, but sleepeth. And they laughed him to scorn. 25, but when the people were put forth, he went in, and took her by the hand, and took her by the hand, and took her by the hand, and the maid arose. And the maid arose. The book of St. Mark, chapter 5, verse 35, while he yet spake, there came from the ruler of the synagogue's house certain which said, Thy daughter is dead. Why troublest thou the master any further? 36, as soon as Yahushua heard the word that was spoken, he saith unto the ruler of the synagogue, Be not afraid, only believe. 37, and he suffered no man to follow him, save Peter and James and John the brother of James. 38, and he cometh to the house of the ruler of the synagogue, and seeth the tumult, and them that wept and wailed greatly. 39, and when he was come in, he saith unto them, Why make ye this ado, and weep? The damsel is not dead, but sleepeth. We were never utterly destroyed. As a nation, we were never utterly destroyed. We were asleep. Spiritually and physically asleep. Our egos were destroyed. Our pride was destroyed. Our arrogance was destroyed. And for those who are turned unto the Father today through the Son in truth and in sincerity, our rebellion was destroyed. Yeah, the Father did a number on us. But as a nation, as souls, as the servants of the one true living Most High Power, never destroyed. Never destroyed. 40, and they laughed him to scorn. But when he had put them all out, he taketh the father and the mother of the damsel and them that were with him, and entereth in where the damsel was lying. And so today, through these words, through that oil, he's entering in to those that the Father has given the possibility to hear this word and see what there is to see. 41, and he took the damsel by the hand and said unto her, Talitha cumi, which is being interpreted, Damsel, I say unto thee, arise. And he took the damsel by the hand. 42, and straightway the damsel arose and walked, for she was of the age of 12 years, and they were astonished with a great astonishment. There is nothing impossible for our Father, the creator of all things. And he uses his outstretched hand, Yahushua. And through that hand, the Father can do anything. So, if you continue to seek out that oil so that your eyes can be cleansed and cleansed and cleansed, so that you can really see the light, you understand where you are and you understand what's occurring right now. All praise to the one true living Most High Power. The Father uses his servants. And his servants have great power. The book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 21. And Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and Yahweh caused the sea to go back by a strong east wind all that night, and made the sea dry land, and the waters were divided. So our forefather, the prophet Moses, servant of the one true living Most High Power, stretched out his hand over the sea, and Yahweh caused the sea to go back. So the brothers, the men who come out here and speak this word, the brothers, the modern day prophets, the brothers who are out on the street of camp, the brothers who are giving classes, and the brothers who are online speaking this word in truth and in sincerity, we are the Father's outstretched hand. It's the Father through the Son, through the servants. And if you can receive, you can really receive from the Father. You can receive that oil, that excellent oil. The book of St. Luke, chapter 21, verse 11. This is Yahushua speaking. And great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines. So, that we have a common understanding. Famine, a situation in which there is not enough food for a great number of people, causing illness and death, or a particular period when this happens. Famine, an extreme scarcity of food, a great shortage. Transportation problems resulted in a coal famine. Extreme scarcity of food, a shortage. And great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines, and pestilences, and fearful sights, and great signs shall there be from heaven. The second book of the prophet Ezra, chapter 15, verse 5. Behold, saith Yahweh, I will bring plagues upon the world meaning time frame, age, span of time, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. That oil lights your lamp, and you're able to see into the distance. But what it really shines upon is the fact that what our Father says shall occur, shall occur. Behold, saith Yahweh, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine.
Is an honor to go down fighting Satan, the great Satan, and the little Satans, is an honor for them. They will not care if they die. They will not care, because for them death is not the end. For us in the West, flabby and completely lost to religion, it is, of course. We care only about material things. And therefore, I draw your attention to this. Once the Straits of Hormuz have been closed, once not a pint of oil or a meter of gas is being produced anywhere in the Persian Gulf, and any already produced will be precluded from leaving the Straits of Hormuz, you will not be able to buy oil and gas. Your homes will shiver. Your factories will grind to a halt. Your cars will be abandoned on the streets. Your aircraft will be unable to take off. Your economy will be devastated and ruined. Your unemployment, Britain's just reached 5% this week. It'll be 50% or more. So if you care about material things, then beware that what Donald Trump and Netanyahu, once the war begins, nothing that you hold dear will any longer be guaranteed, and much of what you value will disappear forever. And a new world will be born in flames and screams of agony in country after country. Apocalyptic for sure, but then the apocalypse begins any time now.
What we are seeing now with regards to Qatar is a very significant development. An attack on a power plant water tank in Mesaid and an attack on the Ras Laffan export hub. This is a major part of Qatar's economic apparatus. The Ras Laffan liquid natural gas export hub is connected to one of the largest facilities in the world. Qatar, of course, shares one of the largest natural gas fields in the world with Iran, and this is the very lifeblood of the Qatari economy. This country is able to exist because of its ability to export natural gas. So this attack on this facility will be something that the Qataris will not be taking lightly. In a statement from the Qatari government, we hear that they say all damages and losses resulting from the attack will be assessed by the relevant authorities, so we can assume that there has been some kind of damage from this drone attack, and the ministry is also urging people to remain calm.
Let's begin with the biggest development. The energy facilities of two of the world's biggest suppliers have been targeted with drone attacks. Qatar suspended the production of all liquefied natural gas after its Ras Laffan facility was hit. And across the border, Saudi Arabia partially closed its biggest oil refinery, the Ras Tanura facility, which handles more than 500,000 barrels of oil per day. Iran denies responsibility for these attacks, though the impact on global markets has been the same. European and Asian gas prices soared by up to 50%, while oil is up 13%, and there could be more economic pain to come. Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps says it is closing the Strait of Hormuz. This is the choke point through which 20% of the world's oil supply passes through. This is despite earlier promises by the government that it wasn't going to do so.
The world is going to pay a price very soon for what's happening in the Middle East, literally. Economists are warning that oil prices are about to surge, and that's going to have a knock-on effect on all sorts of goods which rely on fuel to be made or transported, which is most things around the world. So inflation's going to go up too. So Iran controls what's arguably the most important shipping lane in the world. That's the Strait of Hormuz. It's the only way that oil can be transported not just from Iran, but from Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, and the UAE to the rest of the world. So that's roughly a fifth of the daily global production of oil, 20 million barrels a day. At the moment, oil tankers are reporting they can't get through because of what's happening, and we have no idea when it's going to be safe for them to travel down that waterway and continue supplying oil to the world, and prices will keep going up until they can.
When your lamp is filled with that oil, you are in alignment with the one true living most high power. The further you can see, the more of that oil you have in your lamp. And that comes through faith, hope, trust, and belief. And praying to be able to see clearer and clearer and hear clearer and clearer, and being willing to see clearer and clearer. Being willing. It's important because you then realize everyone upon the earth, this is the time we're living in, has to pay their bill. The fathers sent Yahushai to cause everyone to pay their bills, as it is written. The second book of the prophet Esdras, chapter 16, verse 1. The books of the prophet Esdras can be found in the Apocrypha, which is the middle book of the King James 1611 Bible. Woe means destruction. Woe be unto thee, Babylon, mystery, Babylon the Great, the so-called United States of America, and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. 2. Gird up yourselves with cloths of sack and hair, bewail your children and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand. And so if you believe in the Son of the one true living Most High Power, he said that a day like this was going to come. Okay? 3. A sword is sent upon you, and who may turn it back? 4. A fire is sent among you, and who may quench it? 5. Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? 6. May any man drive away an hungry lion in the wood, or may any one quench the fire in stubble when it hath begun to burn? It cannot be done. And so with the oil of joy, you realize that prophecy is blossoming, that we're in a time frame, a season, where now it's time for that. All praise to the one true living Most High Power. It is now time for that. Woe unto you, Asia.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Iran-US-Israel war has now worsened to become like an Asia financial crisis. I know the US market haven't crashed much, but if you look at the Asian market right now, Taiwan has gone down by 4%. Nikkei 225, Japan market has gone up by 4%. And we have got the Korean market at the worst, it crashed by 12%. Now it's crashed by about 10%. The Thailand market right now has also crashed by about 7-8%. It has triggered off a circuit breaker. And Singapore market crashed by about 2.6% and so on. It's a developing news. Let's watch on very closely and see whether it worsens much further.
So again, not everyone of the other nations is an evil, wicked person. They're not. And our Father, which art in heaven, is a righteous judge. Everyone is going to receive for what they've done. So this oil, that oil, is for the daughters of Zion, the daughters of Jerusalem, for the Israelites. Is an oil of joy and comfort. That which our Father says shall occur is occurring. It is. And we have to trust in our Father's architecture, His designs, His plans, and His will. The book of the prophet Isaiah, chapter 31, verse 1. Woe! Woe means destruction to them that go down to Egypt for help. So you want to go down to your governments, you want to go down to the rulers, you want to go down to your politicians. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots, the military, because they are many, and in horsemen, because they are very strong. So you want to trust in planes and drones and tanks and warships. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek Yahweh. 2. Yet he also is wise and will bring evil, and will not call back his words, but will arise against the house of the evildoers and against the help of them that work iniquity. So our Father is saying, I'm sending the fire of righteous judgment against the house of the evildoers. And what do you want to do, Israelite? You want to go be in that house. You want to go be in there to be protected from my words. How does that even make sense? How does that even make sense? 3. Now the Egyptians are men and not the Most High Power. The Most High Power, eternal, almighty, terrible. Now the Egyptians are men. The rulers of this last wicked kingdom are men. Men and women. Men. And not the Most High power. And their horses, flesh. They're soldiers. And not spirit. Oh, there are spirits of vengeance waiting. When Yahweh shall stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that is hoping shall fall down. And they all shall fall together. And they all shall fail together. And they all shall fail together. That's that oil. And if that's in your lamp, you can see clearly.
And now Trump is trying to replace the UN with this Gaza Board of Peace, which we're about to talk about with our next guest. That's really just like him in charge of everything. Like, and it's a really, I mean, when it comes to Palestine, it's such a harbinger of what's to come because it doesn't stop there, right? Like, you dismantle this international institution through Palestine, but then it applies to the rest of the world. And with this Gaza Board of Peace, that's actually what's happening here too, is it's this attempt to create this like Trump administered board full of his cronies and then people who have to pay, like him and like Viktor Orban so far are on board. And it starts with Gaza, but it's like, where does it end?
Everyone and his dog appears to have been invited on Donald Trump's Board of Peace. Saudi Arabia, Turkey, Egypt and Morocco and a slew of other countries have accepted. But America's Western allies, France, Britain, Canada and Germany, are staying well away. If Trump's latest tweets had just been about Gaza, they would have been all too happy to join him. But this is about more than that. It's Trump's bid to install himself as CEO of the world.
As the Spirit brought out.
It's Donald Trump's exit from this courthouse, and you see his motorcade now heading out.
So also this,
you see now a picture from the ground
this motorcade,
as well,
right?
and not something
this is the
more.
This is the motorcade for the former
now of
president of the United States of America.
Its way through Manhattan, 11 cars in
because
total moving.
That really does
Manhattan,
look like the motorcade
the former
of a
president,
current
his legal
active
advisors, his political
head
advisors, and of course Secret Service as well. And then
they even have an
prosecutor
ambulance
who is
with
now, officially filed a case against him.
Who is this person?
Address the media.
Can you answer that definitively and say you know what's going on in this kingdom, that you know what is being planned? Can you say that definitively?
Around 11:26, so just about an hour in total inside that courtroom. That includes the part where the photographers were able to take a few pictures, the still pictures that we saw of the president. And
what we're doing is very simple: peace. It's called the Board of Peace, and it's all about an easy word to say, but a hard word to produce: peace. But we're going to produce it, and we've been doing a really good job. And some of these leaders that are with us have helped me very much during just this first year. We have a first year like probably no other ever.
This is the logo to the Board of Peace. It looks a lot like the United Nations logo, except that it's gold, and it has the United States at the center rather than showing the whole world. And this really tells us a lot about President Trump's approach to foreign policy.
The US has shaped the world around you. It has likely either protected you
Light them all up.
or bombed you, and influenced the rules of the global order we all live by. Now, Donald Trump is ripping up the playbook. In places like Venezuela, Greenland, Ukraine, and beyond. So, is this just chaos? Or is there a strategy behind it all?
We are going to run the country. We'll be hitting them very hard where it hurts. We are going to do something on Greenland, whether they like it or not.
The world is grappling to make sense of it all.
A world without rules.
Gazans are sceptical about the potential for the grouping, given Israel's Prime Minister is expected to join it. After more than 2 years of Israeli attacks, they're hesitant to believe in a board of peace that has a man wanted for war crimes at the table.
موشک از اینجا میاد، از سمت چپ بیاد. اومد. از اینجا میاد، از اینجا.
We in Israel don't want war. We want peace.
What we're doing is very simple. Peace. I promise I will be your peacemaker. I'm going to be a peacemaker.
First comes strength, then comes peace.
We are seeking peace. We are peace seekers.
My proudest legacy will be that of a peacemaker. And I'll be your peacemaker.
If you have that oil, you know who you're dealing with. You're dealing with the deceivers. You have no idea. You know where we're headed, but you have no idea what they're planning and what they're plotting, right? The book of the prophet Isaiah, chapter 8, verse 11, "For Yahweh spake thus to me with a strong hand, and instructed me that I should not walk in the way of this people, saying," 12, "Say ye not a confederacy to all them to whom this people shall say, a confederacy, neither fear ye their fear, nor be afraid." So for the 2/3 of the mighty nation of Israel today, they're confederate with the rulers of this last wicked kingdom and the system, the beast system that they have set up, and their images and their idols, their doctrines and their morals and their philosophies, their ideologies, their customs. But our Father is saying, don't be confederate. Don't join unto them. Don't be in agreement with them, with the things that are against the one true living most high power. And don't be afraid of what they're afraid of. So many are afraid of the end of this world, time frame, age, span of time, because they're deeply invested. But if you have that oil, you know where this is going. 13, "Sanctify Yahweh of hosts himself, and let him be your fear, and let him be your dread." That's who we're to be afraid of. That's who we're to worry about. That's who we're to serve. That's who we're to be conscious of. That's who we're to respect. That's who we are to tiptoe around, and that is who we call on for deliverance. The book of Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 20, "There is treasure to be desired, and oil in the dwelling of the wise." You have oil. You have that oil. You have the prophecies. You have the promises. You have a grasp of the statutes, the commandments, and the laws. Now, again, we can't do all these things because we're in captivity. But in your heart, there is doing that which is pleasing unto the Father. You have discernment, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. That's treasure. That's treasure. You have hope. When you have that oil, you have hope. That's treasure. And oil in the dwelling of the wise. but a foolish man spendeth it up. So they don't take account of it. They waste it. They mock it. They scorn it. They throw it away. They throw it away. There is treasure to be desired and oil in the dwelling of the wise. What's some of that? Oil in the dwelling of the wise. The second book of St. Peter, chapter 3, verse 7, but the heavens and the earth, which are now by the same word of the one true living most high power, whose words cannot be void, they cannot be overcome, are kept in store, reserved unto fire against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men. So again, Yahushua spoke about it. There's going to be a day of vengeance. It's going to happen, it must happen, and it has begun to happen, and there's no way around it. That's wisdom. That's treasure. Because you can see. You have that oil. It's cleansing and clearing your eyes. You're being anointed with this word today, bringing you back to life. Our Savior, our high priest, our master prophet, our brother of the bloodline and the seed line of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is touching you today. And he's the hand of the one true living most high power. And if you can accept that, you're being healed. Deeper and deeper and deeper daily, you're being healed, Israelite. And the men who speak this word, our Father, through the Son, is reinforcing what we're saying. You know, it's like for some brothers who speak, and there's a train horn. There are things happening upon the earth. Our Father's speaking. He's speaking in signs. He's speaking through the Son. He's speaking in signs. He's speaking in wonders. He's speaking through his prophets. Outstretched hands to the nation of Israel, to those who can see it, those who can hear it.
First, a stunning statement from the Defense Secretary, Pete Hegseth.
America, regardless of what so-called international institutions say, is unleashing the most lethal and precise air power campaign in history, all on our terms, with maximum authorities. No stupid rules of engagement, no nation-building quagmire, no democracy-building exercise, no politically correct wars.
No stupid rules of engagement, says the man in charge of America's military. He appears to be abandoning the principle that underpins the military doctrine of Western democracies, that you adhere to rules of engagement in a way that your enemy does not. This is a stunning shift in US military operational practice. The second headline, which I think articulates so clearly the strain between America and its allies, in particular the UK, and this so-called special relationship. Listen to this.
Capable partners are good partners.
He's talking about Israel there, then.
Unlike so many of our traditional allies who wring their hands and clutch their pearls, hemming and hawing about the use of force.
That's the blunt consequence of the judgment made by the British government that Trump's action over the weekend in Iran was not in line with international law. Starmer said no to the US use of UK bases for the initial attack. The Americans are furious. It is a real test of the special relationship.
President Trump has expressed his disagreement with our decision not to get involved in the initial strikes. But it is my duty to judge what is in Britain's national interest. That is what I've done, and I stand by it.
French President Emmanuel Macron says his country will increase the size of its nuclear arsenal as tensions rise around the world. He says France will expand cooperation with European allies and temporarily deploy nuclear-armed aircraft to other nations. Macron says 8 countries want to take part in French nuclear exercises as part of what he calls a forward deterrence strategy. France and Britain are both nuclear powers, but Europe has largely relied on America for deterring adversaries.
J'ai ordonné d'augmenter le nombre de têtes nucléaires de notre arsenal pour couper court à toute spéculation. Nous ne communiquerons plus sur les chiffres de notre arsenal nucléaire, contrairement à ce qui avait pu être le cas par le passé. Pour être libre donc, il faut être craint. Et pour être craint, il faut être puissant. Cette augmentation de notre arsenal en témoigne.
Everything must be put in its proper alignment and its proper positioning. And when the season is right, the words blossom. One of the things that was promised was that at the end, nothing would be covered. Everything would be uncovered, made bare, and we would know who is who and what is what, and that the words of the one true living Most High Power are true. The book of Revelation, chapter 18, verse 23, and the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. For thy merchants were the great men of the earth, for by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. So this is speaking about mystery, Babylon the Great, the so-called United States of America. And what is being brought to light is who that actually is, who the rulers of this last wicked kingdom actually are. It's being made clearer and clearer and clearer, even to the astonishment of the Babylonians, those who live in Mystery Babylon the Great. They're even astonished. They're like, wait, what? Now, do not think that those at the highest levels of power who know their fate, don't think that they're going to, for a second, allow it to happen. Oh no, they're going to fight to the end. And they're going to be who they are. The second book of St. Timothy, chapter 3, verse 13, but evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. So they're going to be evil because that's what they do. That's who they are. They're going to be seducers because that's what they do. So there's a saying, in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king, which is true because the one-eyed man has some sight. They have one eye. The true judges upon the earth have two eyes. Two. Because there's the physical and there's the spiritual. There's the physical and the spiritual. It's like, yeah, the Bible's here and it's been here, but the true owners and judges of the earth are now in possession of it, and they're bringing the Holy Spirit to it, and they're bringing the spirit of wisdom to it. They're bringing the spirit of Yahushai, and Yahushai's in the Father, and the Father's in Yahushai, and the Father's in there too. All right? 2 clear eyes. But evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. So they're going to get worse and worse at being evil and seducers, and they're going to work their hardest to try and change the words of the one true living most high power. They really believe that they can do it. Deceiving and being deceived. The book of St. Matthew, chapter 24, verse 24, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world. So these are the words of the Son of the one true living most high power, the King of kings, the Lord of lords, saying, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time. No, nor ever shall be. That's that oil that keeps that lamp shining bright. It keeps your path clear because you know which way to go. 22, and except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake those days shall be shortened. Because if it's up to the devil, which means deceivers, they'll go so far, they'll in their plan to sort of lighten the number of the population, they'll end up destroying everything, man. They'll just go too far. They'll just go too far. Let's just think about the food. Think about the chemicals in the food, right? Not a touch of chemicals. There's certain things that are just all chemical today. All chemical. There's a, I'm not going to say the name. There's a fast food restaurant in Mystery Babylon the Great, and one of the things they pride themselves on is their tuna sandwich. And they did a thing with the tuna in the lab and found out that there's no tuna DNA in the tuna. So it's not like they give you half tuna or even a quarter tuna. There's no tuna in their tuna. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. This is what we're up against. You need that oil. 23, then if any man shall say unto you, lo, here is the anointed, or there, believe it not. So now we still have to look for this. We still have to look for this. Don't think they're not going to try this. Don't put this past the deceiver. Don't think they're not going to try this. 24, for there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. So they've got their technology, they've got their holograms, they got a bunch of stuff going on. Now you've got all these stories going on about the aliens. Take heed. Use that oil. Cleanse your eyes. Cleanse your eyes. Be sober and vigilant. 25, behold, I have told you before. 26, wherefore, if they shall say unto you, behold, he is in the desert, go not forth. Behold, he is in the secret chambers, believe it not. They may try something really big and audacious, but look at them. They're facing the end of their kingdom, dominion, rulership, exaltation, and power. And the wicked, well, he's a proud man. They don't want to give that up.
Mi raza, oigan, subí a tender la ropa y, güey, miren eso. ¿Sí lo están viendo? No estoy loco, ¿verdad? No es avión, no es avión, eso no es dron tampoco. ¿Qué es eso, güey? Se mueve raro, no está recto, se ve como caballos, o estoy bien mal yo. No manches, trae como fuego atrás. ¿Qué? Eso, mira eso.
Tú también lo estás viendo, soy yo. Ahí, quédate grabando.
Listen, many want to believe, it's going to be in a week or a month. Okay? Everything has to be fulfilled. Everything has to be fulfilled. All prophecy must be fulfilled. So you have to make your way to the garden, because if this show continues, you're going to want to believe man. You're going to want to run down to Egypt. You're going to want to trust in the deceiver, and you will be deceived. Now, are there sightings of chariots in the skies? Absolutely, 100%. But in you being a righteous tree, deeply rooted, you have to be able to discern what minerals are and what poison is. You have to be able to discern. Because none of these nations want the end that our Father has spoken. None of them. The book of Psalms, chapter 83, verse 1. Keep not thou silence, O Most High Power. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Most High Power. 2. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. 3. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They don't want Israel to obtain. They don't want that. They don't want to pay their bill. Who knows what they're planning? 4. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. 5. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. You think that ended? You think that's over just because they're fighting amongst each other? There's a treaty around the Arctic. All nations agree and no one can go up there. And yet they're fighting each other on the earth. 6. The tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites of Moab. So Edom, Esau, Edom, Adumah, and Mount Seir, the so-called white nation. The Ishmaelites, which you call the Arabs, of Moab, Chinese. Hagarenes, Gebal and Ammon, Japanese. And Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre, the so-called Africans. They don't want Israel to be exalted, in the words of the one true living Most High Power. So what if you just try and steal it? What if you just try and steal it? As the Spirit brought out, let all thy ways be established, in the words of the one true living Most High Power. Now again, none of us are perfect. Ponder the path of thy feet. Ask yourself, are they working a spell on me right now? Are they working something on me right now? Does this go, is this in alignment with what my Father has said? Is this in alignment with what Yahushua has said?
But here's the thing. It was all generated by AI, and Hollywood is not happy. Here's Jolene Kent.
At first glance, it looks like an epic fight scene starring two Hollywood heavyweights. But this Tom Cruise-Brad Pitt battle is AI generated. ByteDance, the Chinese tech company behind TikTok, just rolled out their new AI video generator, CDance 2.0. The viral video sparked yet another round of backlash and despair in Hollywood. Rhett Reese, a screenwriter behind the Deadpool movies, posted, "I hate to say it, it's likely over for us." In a statement, SAG-AFTRA, the actors union, called the video unacceptable and said it undercuts the ability of human talent to earn a livelihood.
O daughter of Zion, daughter of Jerusalem, daughter of Israel, we need that oil. We need that oil. We need that oil. We need our lamps burning as brightly as possible, piercing the darkness, piercing the deceptions, piercing the lies, piercing the night. The book of St. Matthew, chapter 24, verse 27, "For as the lightning cometh out of the east, and shineth even unto the west, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be." So those who have that oil will know, and will hold steadfast until they see it, until that sky cracks open. For as the lightning cometh out of the east, and shineth even unto the west, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. The first book of St. John, chapter 4, verse 1, "Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits whether they are of the Most High power, because many false prophets are gone out into the world. Be sober, be vigilant. Have the Spirit of Yahushua in you. Have the Spirit of the Holy Spirit in you. Have the Spirit of our Mother Wisdom in you. Pray constantly for the spirit of discernment. Try the spirits by the spirits. If they do some show in the sky as an Israelite, knowing that Yahushua comes from southern kingdom, tribe of Judah, how would a Judite roll up at the end? How would a Judite show up? Coming to save his brothers and sisters of the nation of Israel, how would he and the heavenly host show up? Keep that in mind. How would we roll up? Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits whether they are of the Most High power, because many false prophets are gone out into the world. How would we as a nation show up? The book of Psalms, chapter 136, verse 10, "To him that smote Egypt in their firstborn, for his mercy endureth forever." Well, that's one way to show up. That's really one way to show up, isn't it? This is the hand of the one true living Most High power in Egypt. That spirit, that was Yahushua. To him that smote Egypt in their firstborn, for his mercy endureth forever. The mercy of our Father in heaven endureth forever. 11, "And brought out Israel from among them, for his mercy endureth forever." Brought us out. No one can stand in the way. No one could hinder. No one could block. Actually went out with gifts. 12, "With a strong hand, Yahushua, and with a stretched out arm, for his mercy endureth forever." And the same is true today. That stretched out arm, that's the servants of the one true living Most High power. Having our hands and our arms outstretched through this work that we do, whether it's being out of camp, giving classes, or being online. 13, to him which divided the Red Sea into parts, for his mercy endureth forever. And how did he do that? Through our forefather, the prophet Moses, his servant, who stretched out his hand, and the Father divided the Red Sea. 14, and made Israel to pass through the midst of it, for his mercy endureth forever. 15, but overthrew Pharaoh and his host in the Red Sea, for his mercy endureth forever. So, all this that you hear, this is that oil, all this that you hear about nuclear fire, volcanoes, destruction, war, famine, all of it, and made Israel to pass through the midst of it. We went through it. We went through it. Delivered by the one true living most high power. But overthrew Pharaoh and his host. So remember today, the devil is on that pale horse. Death is on that pale horse. Death of the rulers of this last wicked kingdom. Death of the rulers of this last wicked kingdom. They're the devil. They're the deceivers. They're filled with the spirit of Satan, the spirit of the adversary and the accuser. And they're riding on that pale horse. That pale horse is Esau, Edom, Idumea, Mount Seir, the so-called white nation in their old age. You know, there are these stories coming out about how many American soldiers are in the hospitals in Germany right now. Just saying. So they're riding on the pale horse, which is Esau, Edom, Idumea, Mount Seir in their old age. What our Father says shall occur, and he's going to overthrow death. In the very thing that they are working their hands, they have their hands to today. They want to reduce the population through famine and through war and through nuclear bombs. They're going to get caught up in their own thing. So that everyone knows who is who. The book of Exodus, chapter 9, verse 14, for I will at this time send all my plagues upon thine heart and upon thy servants and upon thy people, that thou mayest know that there is none like me in all the earth. Thus saith the Most High. 15, for now I will stretch out my hand that I may smite thee and thy people with pestilence, and thou shalt be cut off from the earth. Thus saith the Most High. As it was, so it is. 16, and in very deed for this cause have I raised thee up, for to show in thee my power, and that my name may be declared throughout all the earth. For to show in thee my power, and that my name may be declared throughout all the earth. Thus saith the Most High, as it is written. So if you want to be in the house with them, this is what's coming. This is what's coming. Our Father has some personal battles, and he's going to finish them.
I hear the people are saying, we're going to have an endless war here. You're not going to have an endless war. And I think peace between Israel and Saudi Arabia would be really possible and probably very close once this thing happens. So this is a gateway for peace, for a broader peace, and I believe that we can achieve it. I said it could be quick and decisive. It may take some time, but it's not going to take years. It's not an endless war. In fact, it's an effort right now to achieve the peace that we all yearn and pray for. And I think together we'll achieve it.
Iranian state media shares. Iran did not attack the Ras Tanura oil refinery in Saudi Arabia. it was Israel. Tasnim news agency reports the attack on the Saudi Aramco refinery was carried out by Israel, and Iran did not strike any oil facilities in Saudi Arabia. Tucker Carlson says Saudi Arabia and Qatar caught and arrested Israeli Mossad agents planning bombings in those countries.
Last night, in Qatar and Saudi Arabia, authorities arrested Mossad agents planning on committing bombings in those countries. Now, that's weird. That doesn't make any sense. Why would the Israelis be committing bombings in two Gulf countries, which are also being attacked by Iran? Aren't they on the same side? No. Israel wants to hurt Iran and Qatar and UAE and Saudi and Bahrain and Oman and Kuwait. Now, that wasn't a risk from the Israeli standpoint. That was the point. That was the point. They wanted to diminish the Gulf, and in 2 days they have. And I think anyone who likes decency and order and cleanliness is hoping that the Gulf will recover. The Gulf is not a threat to us. We have military bases in these countries. These are some of our closest allies. All of them are closer allies than Israel, by far. They're our friends, but they've been really hurt. And in a place like Dubai, which is basically part of a country, it's an emirate within the United Arab Emirates, but it's also a luxury brand, basically. People go to Dubai because it's beautiful and rich and clean, and above all, because it's safe and orderly. It's got the busiest airport in the world. You start seeing video on Instagram of smoke in the Dubai airport, and you're like, I think I'm going to Cabo this year. Oh, sorry, drug cartels. Whatever. Maybe you go to Sedona this year. It really, really hurts these countries. And Israel wanted to hurt these countries. That's the point. Wanted to hurt these countries. Wanted to sow chaos and disorder because they are rivals of Israel.
رمضان مقطع رمضان ورمضان أذان نسي.
We have some breaking news now for you. We've just received confirmation that Dubai Airport has been struck during an attack on its international terminal.
Dubai's media office releasing a statement saying 4 staff members have been injured during the incident, which left debris scattered across the area. As yet, unverified images are emerging on social media showing damage to the terminal. We'll bring you more as it comes to hand.
One of the most striking, an attack on Saudi's largest oil facility. Now that has prompted the Saudis to say that they are seriously considering getting involved militarily in this situation.
What you see behind me, this is the theater of war. Let's put now the missiles in the cities so that people can see exactly what we're talking about. And you're going to see how this really has been turning into a conflagration of sorts, right? Suddenly it's escalated into something much bigger than what probably the Israelis and the U.S. was thinking this was going to be, which was going to be essentially a battle between Iran, Israel, and the United States. No, it's turned into much more. In fact, let me just give you a primer, if we could, because the Iranians, immediately after getting hit, started hitting Bahrain, then they hit UAE, then they hit Qatar, now they've hit Oman, they've also hit Kuwait, they've had to respond and hit Iraq. Obviously, over here, they're hitting Israel as well. And these are the countries that they've had to hit, and Saudi Arabia now as well. Now, as a result, and this is how these things have a tendency to escalate, right? Now, as a result, Iraq has gotten involved, and they're hitting Israel. And you can't see it down here, but just down here where my hand is would be Yemen, and they're involved, and they're hitting Israel as well. So there's missiles going out and missiles coming in, obviously, as well, from the United States and from Israel.
O daughter of Judah. Get that oil. Keep that oil. Use that oil. Let no one take that oil from you. It's part of your inheritance. to be able to see. The book of the prophet Isaiah, chapter 41, verse 12, thou shalt seek them, and shalt not find them, even them that contended with thee. They that war against thee shall be as nothing, and as a thing of naught. So you want to go be with the rulers, their time is spoken of. If you choose to fear the enemies of the nation of Israel and the one true living Most High Power and his son over the one true living Most High Power, he's saying, those people, you're going to look for them, they're not even going to be around. They're not even going to be around. They're going to be like nothing. They're going to be nothing. 13, for I, Yahweh, thy Most High Power, will hold thy right hand. Isn't that what Yahushua did? Brought the maiden back to life. Because she wasn't dead, she was just asleep. For I, Yahweh, thy Most High Power, will hold thy right hand, saying unto thee, fear not, I will help thee. That is that oil. That's holy supplies there. We're all going to need this. We're all going to need this. You're witnessing what's going on upon the earth. We're all going to need this. It's getting darker and darker now. As the Spirit brought out. And if you really understand, there's a family running the earth today, and they're using another country as a cover for it, using their resources and the bodies of their sons and daughters to fight their wars. You start to understand some things. You start to understand some things. It is only through our Father putting his spirit in Yahushai and us accepting Yahushai, our King of Kings, our Lord of Lords, the one they call Christ. Christ means anointed. We can then have this secure line of communication in which we can put our trust. And we know that our Father is a serious, serious one to be taken seriously. And that what our Father says shall occur, shall occur.
Allahu Akbar. The death of Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei was acknowledged on state television at 4 a.m. Here the presenter recites a prayer for the dead, but he's barely able to finish it. Inna lillah.
And here is a crucial point. A crucial point. Please do not overlook this. Currently, power, real power, is in the hands of one man, Benjamin Bibi Netanyahu. Real power is in the hand of one man today. This shows the power, the sheer power of our Father. Because many in Mystery Babylon the Great, the so-called United States of America, they believe that third world war is never going to happen, because they believe that the Congress of Mystery Babylon the Great and that the Senate of Mystery Babylon the Great would never agree and give permission to allow that to happen, Well, our Father has shown that he can short circuit that system, that he can bypass that system, that he can put the power to kill in the hand of one person. Oh, fear the one true living most high power, Yahweh. Fear him. He is flexing through Yahushai real power today. Judgments are amping up upon this earth. And what you're witnessing is the Father can short circuit the whole safeguard system and go straight to one person and put it in one person's heart to hit that button and take everyone with them, because they have been given the power to kill by our Father. But because of the actions that you back, which may potentially be the Israelis, led by those that are leading today, may just send a nuke into Iran. They may just. When we're really turned unto the Father through the Son in truth and in sincerity, and he chooses, he gives us some of that oil, a good oil. We can count on it, and we share it. All right? We each have our own dispensations. None is higher or greater than the other, because it's about serving the nation. But the devil, they're starting to see that their actions in their last wicked kingdom, they don't have any place to hide. They don't have any place to hide. Who they are has been demonstrated, and it's come to the height, and it must come to an end. The book of Acts, chapter 4, verse 29. And now, Lord, behold their threatenings, and grant unto thy servants that with all boldness they may speak thy word. 30. By stretching forth thine hand to heal, and that signs and wonders may be done by the name of thy holy child, Yahushai. By stretching forth thine hand to heal. So that's being done today by the servants out here speaking this word in truth and in sincerity. In that way, you hear the voice of the Father through the Son, through the servants. 31, and when they had prayed, the place was shaken where they were assembled together, and they were all filled with the Holy Ghost, the Holy Spirit, and they spake the word of the Most High power with boldness. This is another way we know that we're moving from the night into the day. That power is returning because Yahushai is in fact on his way. We've seen a lot of his work. Works of judgment upon the earth, taking those clouds, doing some things. But when he shows up, he's going to show up with the heavenly hosts, with the clouds, with the chariots, with the heavenly vehicles. There's just going to be no question. And so we're out here speaking this word boldly. And look at it. As the Spirit brought out. And they actually want Caesar Borgia to come down here and bring peace. But that's not going to happen. So as our forefather, the prophet Elijah did, I'm going to lay down a challenge to you. So in the Spirit, if you want peace, pray for peace. You pray for peace and have your entire congregation pray for peace. You do that. You pray unto your power, and you pray for peace upon this earth with Esau, Edom, Idumea, and Mount Seir at the head. You pray for that. We, the hopeful elect, we're praying that if we are of the Most High power, that he sends fire down from heaven. That he sends fire down from heaven. Destroys this last wicked kingdom, such that Yahushua can take his rightful place upon the throne of our forefather, the prophet and King David. So we're going to pray for fire to come down from heaven. We're going to pray unto our Most High power for fire to come down from heaven.
Oh my God.
וזה הרס במקלט. זה מקלט ספג פגיעה ישירה. יש פה מישהו? מישהו פה?
וואי וואי.
We're told now that the US Embassy in Kuwait has been struck, it seems, by either missile or drones targeting that facility. Smoke is seen rising from the embassy in Kuwait, with local emergency services now on scene, and reports now, warnings really, that the US Embassy in Kuwait, that there is a continuing threat of missile and unmanned aerial vehicle drone attacks over Kuwait itself.
مش سهل.
الجاوي حقا عندنا حساب عندنا الان نحن نطول.
ايوه.
نصف الجاوي.
مالك كله غاز وبترول. ها شوف كم بقرة هناك. هناك كيف؟
What Iran has accomplished is it's driven the United States out of the Persian Gulf, and It is now set in motion a chain of diplomatic, military, and most importantly, economic dynamics that are going to crush the world's economy, put a lot of money in the pockets of the Russians. You know, oil's now up at $83 a barrel. I think it'll probably go up to 150 or well over 100. And Trump's hopes of a economic recovery in the United States, poof, gone. And this is going to worsen the economies in Europe. Yeah, they got forced into it by the Israelis.
The book of St. Mark, chapter 3, verse 27. No man can enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he will first bind the strong man, and then he will spoil his house. Someone's getting binded up. Someone is getting binded up. The book of Revelation, chapter 6, verse 8. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him. And power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth, to kill with sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. So we're watching who is who, and what is what. And there's just no questions about it. There are just no questions about it, right? Killing with the sword and with hunger. They've just set off this thing, which is part of their plan. They just set it off big time. Big time. Listen, every day that goes by and no oil is coming out, every single day that goes by and there's no oil coming out of that strait, no LNG, no oil, prices get higher and higher and higher every single day. This is part and parcel. This is getting you ready for that new system, that new beast system of governance that they want to bring. The earth to kill with sword and with hunger and with death and with the beasts of the earth. Those who work for the beast system of governance. There are also beasts, beastly spirits in people. There are murderers and serial killers. And there are people who just like to kill. Everything is being shown for what it is.
The fact is that Israel is known to have its own internal doctrines, that it's acceptable to kill large numbers of civilians in pursuit of Israel's objectives. All of the people that were killed in that strike on the girls' school would be alive today if the United States and Israel didn't bomb Iran. What we've seen repeatedly over the more than 2.5 years of the Israeli genocide in Gaza is that Israel repeatedly bombs civilians, and they intentionally bomb civilian sites, hospitals, schools. They are serial killers when it comes to assassinating Palestinian journalists. The United States, through its history, has also repeatedly shown that there are acceptable numbers of civilian deaths that are very, very high in pursuit of what the U.S. identifies or calls a national security objective.
When you have that oil, your choice is just clear as day. Your choice is well lit. You know who loves you, Israelite. The book of St. Matthew, chapter 10, verse 1. And when he, Yahushua, had called unto him his 12 disciples, he gave them power against unclean spirits to cast them out, and to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease. So there's a spirit that works in the servants of the one true living most high power, who can take this word and heal the blind, raise the dead, cleanse out the spirits of vanity and pride and confusion, rid our brothers and sisters of the spirit of death, because we're operating in the spirit. We are operating in the spirit. The book of St. Mark, chapter 6, verse 13, and they cast out many devils, and anointed with oil many that were sick, and healed them. This good oil of our Father through the Son. That oil that heals. That oil that anoints. That oil that clears the vision. That oil that marks who is who. That oil has a sweet savor unto our Father. The book of St. Luke, chapter 9, verse 2, and he sent them to preach the kingdom of the Most High power and to heal the sick. That's love. Men risking it all, as Yahushua did. Now he did it first, and he did it to the most extreme. None of us are being called to go up on the cross as Yahushua did. He did that. That sacrifice is done. But we are definitely called to follow him. We are definitely called to meet him in the garden. Not my will, Father, thy will be done. But men who come out here and risk everything. Listen, the dragon, it's the man, the beast, the dragon, all of whom are one. They know who each and every one of us are with their technology. They know. And we still come out here and speak. Because we know who we fear. We know who we fear. And we cannot be destroyed. This body, whatever, it's going back to the earth anyway. But we are servants and sons of the one true living Most High power. We humble men stand boldly and firmly at the spiritual gates of Jerusalem, at the spiritual gates of the city of David, at the spiritual gates of Zion, calling you, Israel, home. And he sent them to preach the kingdom of the Most High power and to heal the sick. The last scripture we're going to in this chapter is the book of St. Matthew, chapter 25, verse 1. Get that oil, keep that oil, get that excellent oil. Get that excellent oil, use that excellent oil, keep that excellent oil until it's all said and done. Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. 2, and 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish. 3, they that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them. Oil is in the dwelling place of the wise. 4, but the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. 5, while the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. That was us in Mystery Babylon the Great, the so-called United States of America, serving out the last of our last captivity. It had to be done. It had to be done. 6, and at midnight, at the darkest time, there was a cry made, Behold, the bridegroom cometh, he's on his way. Go ye out to meet him. Well, it's dark, you need light. 7, then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. 8, and the foolish said unto the wise, Give us of your oil, for our lamps are gone out. 9, but the wise answered, saying, Not so, lest there be not enough for us and you, but go ye rather to them that sell, and buy for yourselves. 10. And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut. 11. Afterward came also the other virgins, saying, Lord, Lord, open to us. 12. But he answered and said, Verily, truthfully, I say unto you, I know you not. 13. Watch therefore, for ye know neither the day nor the hour wherein the Son of Man cometh. O daughter of Jerusalem, daughter of Judah, daughter of Zion, daughter of Israel, we the Israelites, the nation of Israel, we need that oil, and we need to hold on to it until the very end. None of us know, right? So we've been here before, but there will be tribulation as was never seen before. We need that oil. We need to hold on to that oil. We need to burn that oil and keep our paths well lit. What a gift that our Father loves us enough to make sure that at this time, in the darkest part, we, his sons and daughters, have that oil. Make no mistake about it. World War III and the nuclear destruction of America are coming. It will coincide exactly with the return of our King of Kings, Lord of Lords, Savior, High Priest, and Brother, Yahushai. Thus saith Yahweh. Philippians 2, 9 through 11. Wherefore Yahweh also hath highly exalted him, and given him a name which is above every name, that at the name of Yahushai every knee shall bow, of things in heaven, and things in earth, and things under the earth, and that every tongue should confess that Yahushai is Lord, to the glory of Yahweh the Father. As it is written, Thus saith Yahweh, and nothing can stop it. This is a final warning, Israel. Shake off this world and remember who you are, and come home. All praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai.
So this is the key question. Why do they do this? I think there are three possibilities, okay? And I think all three possibilities are valid. The first is the idea of hubris. If you look at history, this is how empires behave. So the Mindoro kidnapping was quick, successful, and it was adrenaline rush for Trump. And that made him overconfident in the capacity of the American military. Okay, so hubris is a factor, and we see this throughout history. Why did Hitler invade Stalin? Because he conquered Europe really easily, and he thought it was invincible, right? And that led to the destruction of the German army in the Soviet Union. So hubris is a factor.